Good morning. My name is Julie. Welcome to Gentle Yoga through the Gilders Club of Rochester. I'm just going to do a little gentle practice today. Do as much movement as you like, or as little movement as you like. Modify, change, do what feels good in your body today. Please don't do any movements that your doctor or healthcare professionals told you not to do. Let's take this time to pay attention to our bodies and our breath to create a little bit of ease in our life, which we can all use at any point. Beginning breathing, very, very important in life and in yoga, right? Because breathing is so important to us. So in your chair, and hopefully you have a chair that doesn't have arms, those work the best, but use what you've got, okay? And remember, if you're doing a class and you are shorter of stature or your chair is really tall and your feet don't flatten right on the ground in front of you there, you could put like a small bench or some books or whatever you might have underneath there to kind of give yourself that feeling of grounding through the feet instead of heels lifting up. That might feel more comfortable for you. Or you can sit more forward in your seat so that your feet do flatten on the ground, and you can line your knees up over your ankle joints. Feet are about hips width apart. Breathing. It's something that we don't even think about. So when you breathe and meditate, same thing applies. We're not looking to change the breath, make a choice. We're just observing it, just sitting with it. Just being in the present moment with the breath. So sitting up, nice and tall, in your chair, in your seat. Take a moment to just tap into what your breathing is like right now. Then we'll add a little bit of gentle movement. Inhale, lifting up the shoulders. Exhale, move them back and down. When you inhale the breath, think of softening the belly. When you exhale the breath, imagine the lungs pressing out all that residual volume. And the next round, you're inhaling the shoulders up, moving them back behind you, softly relax them down with the exhale. Feel the belly move in a bit on that exhale. Bring the chin parallel to the ground by reaching up through the tops of the ears. You're pressing down through your sit bones, reaching up through the spine, up through the tops of the ears. You can close the eyes or keep the eyes slightly open, whatever works for you. And once again, just pay attention to your inhales and exhales. And closing your eyes may help with this, but it's up to you. Notice where you feel the inhales and the exhales. Maybe you feel them at the belly. In belly breathing or diaphragmatic breathing that we practice or develop in yoga, each inhalation offers a softness in the belly, and each exhalation offers a firmness in the belly. Just tap into that. Focus on that. You don't have to change anything, just notice what's happening. If you have breaths that happen mostly in the chest and lift the shoulders up and down, then maybe focus more on your abdominal region. Think more about the belly, softening towards the lap on each inhale, and drawing in towards the spine on each exhale. Meditating on the breath is a great place to be. It keeps you right in the moment. If you get distracted by thoughts or ideas, that's okay. It's in the coming back when you notice you're distracted that is really where you're practicing being in the present moment. Sometimes we can focus on the breath by counting. Inhale, exhale. So on the inhalation, you can say in your head, in. And on the exhalation, you can say, 1. On the inhalation, say in. And on the exhalation, 2. And see if you can get to 10 breaths in this way. And if you get distracted, it's okay. Come on back and start again at 1. And just gently open the eyes. Acclimate to what you see around you. Did you get to 10 breaths? It's okay if you didn't, because that's not really the point. The point is, if you get distracted, beginning again, and beginning again, and beginning again. Okay, that's where we practice the mindfulness. So adding in a little bit of movement, sitting in your chair. I sit towards the edge of my chair. It's just that this is a large chair, so I'm able to do that, but you find where it's comfortable for you, but not all the way to the back of the chair if you want to keep a tall spine. You can widen your feet a little further than hips width apart. You can even turn them out a little bit if the knees turn out. Let's practice some cat-cow stretches. Inhale, slide the hands down the thighs, lower the belly, tilt that belly down towards the floor, draw the shoulder blades down the back, kind of letting the belly hang down there, arching the spine, breathing. And then on the next inhalation, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to keep the hands on the knees, we're going to tuck the tailbone under, open up the shoulder blades away from each other, make a C shape with our spine. We don't have to drop our chin all the way. The neck will move on its own. Take a few breaths here. And then we will do these with movement, right? With the breath and the movement together. Inhale, shoulder blades back, tailbone lifts up, belly draws down towards the floor. Exhale, tucking the tailbone, rounding the spine, opening up the shoulder blades, going back and forth at your own pace. Inhaling for what is cow pose, and exhaling for what is cat pose. If you want to move your hands, you can draw them up the thighs for the cow pose to arch the spine, and down towards the knees for the cat pose. Maybe you want to involve a little bit more of the arms. That's an awesome thing to do. Notice your feet, that they're planted on the floor. We don't want to edge out to the outer edges of our feet and lift our big toes up, or the inner edges of our feet. We want to keep them grounded on the floor, into the earth, rooted. And back up to center, into a tall position. Let's walk those feet in. So again, you can be you could be seated halfway into the chair seat or towards the front edge of the chair. Release the arms down, just a tall seated position. Feet are parallel to each other, hips width apart, or wider, if that's comfortable for you. Pressing down through your sit bones into the seat of the chair as you reach up through the tops of the ears. Inhaling the arms up, palms lifting, lifting, lifting. And exhaling the hands to heart center. And you're going at your own pace. It's just getting some range of motion, warming up those shoulder joints, using some of the muscles in the back and the chest as well. Bringing the hands together in this position. In yoga, it's called a mudra, hand position. You can call it prayer position. A lot of people have a lot of different ways to describe it. But basically, when you bring your hands together like this, there's a lot of nerve endings there. There's a lot going on there. And it's said scientifically that bringing your hands together in this way brings together the left and right sides of your brain. So, pretty cool thing. And release. Let's roll the shoulders. You can roll those shoulders up, back and down anytime you feel the need. If you tend to hunch and you have that little roundness going on, rolling the shoulders back throughout your day can be very beneficial to you. Practicing twisting. So let's start in the goalpost or cactus position. Relax the elbows down as if you have weights there. Try not to press the head forward because you're in this position, but rather slide the jaw bone back towards the back of the room behind you. Inhale here. Exhale, turn. You can place one arm on the thigh, the other arm on the back of the chair. You'll notice one of your hips is coming forward. Let that happen. That's normal. It's a functional movement, so we want the pelvis to move along with the twist. On the next breath, inhale back to the goalpost or cactus position, relax elbows, and exhale in the other direction. Just because we're placing a hand on our thigh doesn't mean we have to push or tug or pull. Again, notice what's happening instead. Be in the moment. Notice how the hips are moving. Notice how your neck feels. And inhale, and exhale, and move at your own pace. See if you can be present and notice all the things happening in your body. How the belly button's drawing in. All the things that are happening here as you move, how the hips move, the belly button draws in, and maybe you're finding that you feel like looking out over your shoulder to make this more of a total twist. As long as that's comfortable for you, please go ahead and do that. Keeping that chin parallel to the ground. Each exhale as you twist draws the belly in. That's what happens on the exhale, right? So that's going to make the twist feel more comfortable to you. Add a little bit of strength to the abdominal section. And back to the center position. Awesome job. Let's inhale the arms up. This time when we exhale, sweep the arms down and hinge at the hips so the heart comes forward. So we have a nice flat spine. So it looks flat or neutral as opposed to hunched over. Okay? So a nice flat spine. Hold this hip hinge. If you need to walk your feet a little further apart, really feel that you're rooted towards the ground. And then we're going to inhale these arms all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, hinge, reaching behind you, reaching, widen the hips back behind you. Use this as a way to open up the back of the hips. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale, sweep the arms. If it's hard for you to get your arms all the way up overhead, then only go part way. That's quite all right. Press into those feet. Move the abdominals into the spine when you come back up. See how many muscles you can activate in the core to keep that spine neutral. Hugging in the back and belly towards each other. Pressing into the feet. Use your strength. And exhale. And again. Hinge. Gorgeous. Very good. Press into those feet. Use the abdominal strength. And exhale. Great job. Awesomely awesome. Let's a little bit more forward in the chair. We want you to feel stable, but I'd like you to be able to lengthen out your front leg. So you want to be able to lengthen out that right leg. So the toes are lifting up towards your chest. So lift those toes. It's okay if you can't completely straighten the knee. That's okay, but we want to lift those toes up. And we're going to do a few more of those airplane type hinges. Inhale up. And exhale, hinge. Notice this is a bigger stretch for that leg, so you're not going to hinge as far over. You can bend the knee a little bit as needed. And then just inhale up to prayer position. Beautiful. And exhale. Gorgeous. Inhale up. And exhale to this hinge. You can hold this for a few breaths. It's okay. Beautiful. And inhale in. And exhale. Great job. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale to that hip hinge with that airplane position. Feel the stretching going on. Feel that. Hands to heart center. Inhale up. Great job. Let's bring that right leg in and take the left leg out. Heel down, toes up. Lift those toes. Even if you have a bend in the knee, lift those toes. Activate. Get some stretching in the calf in the back of that leg. And then when you're ready, inhale up. Exhale to that hinge. Hinging, hinging. So you're really feeling more of a stretch going on in that hamstring and in that calf maybe, and that's okay. And then inhale back up here and exhale. Inhale up. Exhale to that hinge, really feeling that stretch. Hold it for a few breaths if you like this, if you know that you need to stretch your hamstrings and your calves more, and who doesn't, you can definitely hold that for as long as you like. And inhale. Exhale. Inhale up. And exhale to the hinge. Holding, holding. You got to keep that torso strong, that belly strong. And inhale back to center. If you want to do one more, you can go ahead and do that. We kind of do want to make it even on both sides. So if you're counting, you feel a little more tightness in one leg, that's okay. And inhale. And exhale. Throw that leg in. Good job. Tap a little bit, lift your heels up. Good, good, good. So now we're going to take these feet and we're going to toe heel or heel toe, walk them out a little bit more. So you're sitting more forward in your seat. And we're turning the knees and the toes out because we want them to line up with each other, okay? So we don't want it to look like this, all right? So please make sure that the ankles and the knees line up a bit and that your knees and toes are going in the exact same direction. Bringing the hands to heart center. Gorgeous. So notice your feet and how they feel on your rug or on the floor, on the mat. If you press down into the bottom of your feet, a little bit of isometric contraction, you can feel the muscles in the thighs engage, yeah? See if we can keep pressing down to the floor a little bit, engaging those muscles just a bit. You don't need to squeeze really hard. And reach those hands up. Inhale here. Exhale, bending the left elbow, reaching over. Woo! And inhale here. And exhale, bending the other elbow and reaching over. So it's a little bit of a side bend. So keep the feet activated, pressing against the floor. Notice how that helps you with steadiness. It makes this a little easier for you. If you don't want to raise your arms up overhead at all, you can just move. And the point is not to get the elbow to the thigh, but if you're able to bring your forearm to your thigh, that's great. Okay? And if you want to reach all the way over, or just part of the way over, you'll notice I do it different ways. Just depends on how you're feeling today. It may take a few of these inhales and exhales as you move, don't forget to breathe, to decide how much movement is enough for your body today. Maybe after you've warmed up and done these a few times, remember, activate those feet against the floor just a bit. You'll find that gives you stability in the hip area. Just because we're sitting doesn't mean we don't need that stability. Firming the belly and the back towards each other, very important that we remember to do that when we are seated all the time. And back to the center position and release. Great job. Let's walk those feet back in. Feet are hips width apart or a little wider. Rolling, inhaling and exhaling, rolling the shoulders. Let's take our hands now and hold on to the back of the chair. Somewhere, anywhere in the back of the chair, or you can even put your hands on the seat behind you as well, depending on what kind of chair you have. I'm just going to take some easy breaths. Let the tops of the shoulders move away from the ears. Feel that there's some gentle stretching going on across the front of the chest and shoulders. You can feel the shoulder blades come together. And if you so desire, you can clasp your hands behind you gently, but keep the elbows a little bent. I just hold on to my thumb gently. You can clasp the hands behind you if you like. Everyone may do this in a different way, but you don't have to put them together in a really tight way that may be aggravating for your fingers. A little bend in the elbows. That's fine. Just getting a gentle stretch across the front of the chest. And release that. Great job. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Okay, so balance is really important. And can we build balance by working in a chair? Yes, we definitely can. So in this, you want to be back far enough so that you don't feel that you're going to slide off your chair. So maybe midway into the chair. Again, feet on the floor, nice and grounded, knees over the ankles. Sitting up, roll the shoulders up, back, and down, firming that torso. Kind of would like to line the shoulder joints over the hip joints, and it's something to think about, right? Am I aligned? Are my shoulders forward of my hips? And then the head, slide that jawline straight back a bit so we can set ourselves up for balancing postures. You can keep your hands on the chair if you need to. You can keep your hands out to steady yourself or at heart center. We're going to shift the weight over to the right hip just a bit as we lift the left leg. Lift the left foot off the floor with the knee bent. Inhale here. Exhale, straighten out the leg. Woo, squeezing that quadricep. Inhale in and down. Great job. Let's do the other leg and shift the weight over to the opposite hip. Inhale up. Exhale, straighten. Ooh, squeeze that quadricep. Inhale and exhale. You do not need to lift your knee really high, okay? Alternate. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. You may notice your body's tendency when you go up on that one foot to lean your back all the way back into the chair. See if you can stay as tall as possible. We want to engage the abdominals, so let them draw in just a bit. Just because the abdominals are drawing in doesn't mean that we need to hunch over, okay? And up, and out, woo, and in, and down, and let's go again, and up, and out, and in, and down, and up, and out, and in, and down. One more time on each side. Up, and out, and in. So this builds strength and balance. Now press out through that heel. Stay up nice and tall. and release. Great job. You can lift and lower heel. Your legs feel a little bit better. So that's great. Strengthens the quadriceps a bit. You want to challenge yourself. Hold the leg in the lengthened position. Again, you can keep the hands at heart center. You can use the chair. But again, if you're going to hold the leg in the air, please try not to lay all the way back towards the chair. Use the strength you have in your core. Draw your core muscles in like a girdle or a corset around your waist. Let's try a hold for a few breaths on each side. Sitting up tall, sit bones up through the tops of the ears. Engage the core, engage the rib cage on each side towards itself, towards each other. Engage the abdominals in, lift, extend, and see if you can hold for a few breaths. You can challenge yourself by lifting your arms up and hold for a few breaths if you really want to. But notice how the minute the arms may go up, even if it's only a little, the abdominals draw in. You got a little bit more work going on there for the abdominal section. And that's okay. Inhale here and exhale. Great job. Notice the strength that it takes to do that. Here comes the other side. Inhale and exhale. Extend the leg. Again, it doesn't have to be high up. It can be low down. It's okay. It's not about that. Notice how the core, how the sides of the waist, the front and the back draw in to help keep you upright, especially if you lift the arms up overhead. A little bit more. Definitely more strength, more work for the core. It's not just for the legs or for the thighs, it's for your core as well. And then when you're ready, release. Great job. So it's a nice thing to practice on your own at home. This extension's a great strength for the quadricep. Lunging. Lunging is an important part of yoga, and we can definitely do that using our chair. Some folks can do this without the help of a chair. You could be next to your chair, holding onto the chair. That's fine too. So I'm going to turn aside. So the left side of my tuchus is still on the chair. My left thigh still on the chair. I'm going to hold on with my left arm to the back of the chair and slide the right leg back. So you have some options here. I'm going to move this forward so you can see my back foot. So the front knee and ankle should line up. It's fairly easy to do when you're using the chair. And then stretch the back leg back. So you have your toes on the floor. This is a big challenge. This is a big stretch here. Notice what happens. The whole body creates this arch position. And that's a back bend for your back, a healthy back bend. It's opening up the very tight hip flexors that we tighten up from sitting so much. Opens up, stretches a little bit through the hip flexor. But the knee is straightened, so you're still getting some strength here. And then I'm going to take this arm up. So as you reach back through the back leg, press down gently through the front foot. Notice that your lower back is pressing in forward towards your belly button. Create a little bit of an arch with the entire back so your sternum lifts up just a little bit. Don't have to throw the head back. Wherever your sternum or the center of the top center of your chest is pointing, that's where you look. You don't need to look anywhere else. You don't need to drop the head back. And release that down. So we can bend this knee. We can even bring this back foot in a little bit. Or you can keep it back if you're enjoying this stretch and feels good to you. Let's draw the belly in, sit up nice and tall. Inhale here. And as you exhale, turn towards the back of the chair. Now you may notice that this is a challenging thing to do, okay? So you don't have to twist all the way. You don't have to make this very big. You're doing a great job. Draw in, bend that back knee a little bit more. Draw the belly button in more to support the spine. In this type of twist, inhale here, exhale, release. Great job. Let's drag that foot in, hand on the chair, and switch sides. You'll notice probably in your yoga practice that one side of you feels different than the other when we do these movements. And that's normal, that's natural. We have dominant sides that we use more. I'm going to move this, you can see my back foot. Good, so I'm going to stretch the back leg back. Front foot, knee and ankle are lined up. My thigh is sitting right on the seat of the chair. I'm stretching back so I can really feel this. It's a lot of openings for the front of the hip here. Really, really huge. It's a great thing. But you also feel strong when you're in a lunge. So it's a wonderful pose to do. Whether you do your lunges standing next to the chair, holding onto the chair, or whether you do them in the chair. It's still a wonderful thing for the body. Notice what's happening at the spine. The curve of the spine is moving in at the lower end, that lordotic curve at the lower back, and then you're kind of mimicking that with the upper back. You can lift that same arm up and think of arching the whole back just a little bit. A small back bend, just a teeny little one. A back bend every day is beneficial for your spine. I think people hear back bend and they think, oh, some big wheel pose. where they're arching all the way back like a gymnast. No, back bends can be very small, but yet very beneficial. Wherever the heart is pointing, that's where your face is looking. Inhale here, exhale, release. And you can keep this extended leg position if you like, but I think if you bend the knee, this may be more comfortable as we add the twist. Spine comes up to neutral now, so now we're not arching in the same way that we were a moment ago. Inhale with a long spine. Exhale, turn at the waist to face toward the back of the chair. Hug the belly button in with each exhale. The muscles that crosshatch on the sides of your waist, your internal and external obliques, they're working, pushing and pulling. They do a lot of pulley type work against each other to help you twist. So you want to engage that. Engage the rectus abdominis, the center front abdominal muscles in too. So you have this strong band of muscles all working together around the back and the front and the sides of your waist. Stay nice and tall whenever you twist. And then when you're ready, you can come on back. Nice job. Draw that leg in. Woo. Great job, great job. Beautiful, beautiful. Hips. Hips can be tight. That can create issues with knees, with ankles. So we like to open our hips. We did some work earlier with opening the hips a bit. So forward bending is a great way to open hips, but it can be very challenging. But seated, we have a few really great options to open our hips. They require us to cross our ankles or cross our legs. A yoga posture called Eagle or Garudasana is a lovely posture that involves crossing the legs. So let's practice that just a little bit as we're sitting up nice and tall. You can bring the left knee in and cross the left leg over the right. I have really big legs, so I can't cross my legs really tightly, but that's okay, I can do it. You'll notice what's happening here the minute you cross your legs. For some folks, this is more comfortable. Make sure the foot stays flexed if you're going to cross that foot and ankle over the other thigh. This may be too much for some folks, or it may feel stressful for the knee. So it's okay to just cross the leg. Sitting up tall through the spine, roll the shoulders up, back, and down. If you hinge slightly forward, and again, because of the size of my legs, I'm not getting too far, you're going to feel the stretch increase, yes? Whether you're in this position with the legs crossed, or whether you're in this position with the foot flexed and the legs crossed. If you lean or hinge at the hip, I don't like to say lean, but hinge at the hip slightly forward, you're going to feel a little bit more stretch. That's a very beneficial stretch. Definitely recommend that you do it throughout the day. Opens up some of these really tight muscles that externally rotate your legs. So these strong muscles are working all the time as you walk or hike or climb stairs. So a little bit of a hinge forward, and you'll notice that that's exactly what I'm doing. I am hinging forward. I am not hunching forward. So I'm not rounding my back. I am hinging forward with my legs crossed, okay? And then uncross. So let's try the other side. Again, you can cross the legs like this, sitting up really tall. So when you're thinking that you want to do a forward bend, because you feel like, oh, I need to stretch my back, I'd like to do forward bend, even if it's at your counter in the kitchen, lift the rib cage without poking it forward. Lift the rib cage up away from the top of your pants, up away from your hips, and then hinge, and reach out and activate. If you're you don't have any issues with your spine and forward bending isn't too difficult for you, then the more you forward bend, the rounder the spine is going to get in a nice even rate of curve. But right now we're doing this hinge to open up the hips so we can feel that, whether you're in the cross-legged position or whether you're in the number 4 position. Okay, so it's different for everyone which way you want to do it. You might want to be here but not hinge forward because you're feeling enough of a stretch, enough activation. Or maybe you do, or you want to be in the cross-legged position. Some folks have difficulty crossing their legs at all. In that way, it can be easier if you're lying on the floor, okay, to place one, to do this position here, one foot and ankle on the opposite knee if you're laying on the floor, feet on the floor, knees bent. Or you can cross at the ankle. If you're doing this cross at the ankle, you want to open this knee out, and you want to hug the back of the heel in towards the other shin. And then you're going to also maybe feel some gentle stretching there as well. It's just a easier modification. So you're hinging or you're sitting, you're feeling the stretch going on the back of this hip. That's where you want to be. That's what we're doing this for. And come on up. So I mentioned Garudasana pose. The arms in this position, sitting up nice and tall. I'm going to cross the left leg over the right, kind of hug my inner thighs a bit, give me some stability, okay? And then I'm going to take, since I'm crossing this, because I'm crossing my right leg over, I'm going to take my elbows forward. I'm going to take my right arm, because it's my right leg on top, and draw it underneath the left. So I'm crossing. You can also do this by hugging with the right arm underneath, hugging yourself, making sure the neck is free. You can stay in this hug position, or you can release. When you release with this hand position, you just bring the palms towards each other, or not. It's whatever works for you. And so this is Garudasana or Eagle Pose. Press down through your sit bones into the chair, lift up a nice long spine. And if this is comfortable for you, for your arms and shoulders, you can lift the elbows up just a little bit. Can you hinge forward in this pose when you're seated? Yes, you certainly can, but just be mindful. It's going to make everything a little bit more challenging. So it's definitely up to you whether you wish to add this in or not. Take a few breaths here. And then come on back up and release. Great job. There's another side. So move the other side. Cross over. Again, you can cross at the ankles. If you want to do the upper Garudasana, part of the Garudasana pose with both feet on the floor, that's cool too. So cross the legs, hug the inner thighs a bit, add a little bit of stability and tightness there. Here. So now it's my left leg that's crossed over the top. So it's my left arm that's going to go underneath, whether I'm hugging and holding there, which is a great place to be. This is a great place to be. Or I'm going to release the hands with the one elbow crooked inside the other. The palms do not have to come together if that doesn't work for you, or they can. But don't try to wrench it or make it work if it's not feeling comfortable, especially if it adds any strain in the neck area or the top of the shoulder. You definitely don't want to do that, okay? You want the neck to feel free and be able to move it a bit. Then again, you sit up nice and tall, press down to the sit bones, reach up through the crown. You can reach those elbows up a little bit if it feels okay, you're not experiencing any pain. Or you can hinge slightly forward too. That's going to give a little bit more to your balance, a little bit more work. And again, you don't have to be in this arm position. You can be hugging yourself when you do this. This is fine too. Beautiful. Just breathe. And then come on up nice and tall and release. Awesome. That opens up some of the muscles of the upper back. Let's roll the shoulders back. Woo, you did a great job. Uncross the legs. Take a nice seat. Finish where we began, just focusing gently on the breath. Hands on the thighs. Shoulders go up, back, and down. You did do the 6 positions of the spine today. You did side bending, you did flexion and extension, and we did twisting. So we did do some lovely things for our spine today, which I hope felt good to you. We did some opening up for the hips. Sitting up tall, reaching up through the tops of the ears. Letting the shoulders relax away and down from the ears. Let the soft collarbone widen across the front of the chest. Notice if you're hinging or leaning forward in your chair a bit. See if you can move the chest back towards the spine, keeping the shoulders and the shoulder joints lined up over the hips. This may add some freedom to your breath. Again, you can count your breaths. On the inhale, in, on the exhale, 1. In, 2. And so forth. When you're ready, you can open your eyes, slowly acclimate to what's around you. Push your hands together at heart center. You can practice that breathing at any time, sitting in a chair, lying on the floor, whatever works for you to bring your mind and body back together, create a little bit of ease. Thank you for joining me for yoga practice today, I honor the divine teachers within all of you. May we all find peace, no matter what we are given. Namaste. Thank you for joining me, and have a great rest of your day.